Someone left a comment on my previous video on the BMPCC OG, specifically about one of the memory cards that I mentioned in that video of whether or not I was sure if they worked on the OG. And unfortunately, I did make an honest mistake, so I decided to make this follow-up video to straighten things out. So in this video, I'm going to show you two of the cards I use on the OG that I know will work perfectly and what happens when you use other cards that are not compatible with it. Alright, so I have the OG. Right now it says here no card. I hope you can see that. And I'm going to put in the 128GB Kingston card. Right? When you insert the 128GB card, it will just keep saying no card, right? So obviously it won't read it. The same thing happens when you try and use a SanDisk Extreme Pro card, which when you insert it, nothing happens. It still says no card on this part of the camera. Now watch what happens when you use this 64GB. Again, these are essentially the same cards. This one was just a smaller storage and this is the bigger one. So when I insert the 64GB version, no card changes to ready, right? This works for both PRORES, right? If this is in PRORES HQ, let's say. If it's in PRORES HQ, it works. And it also works if I change my format to RAW. See? It still says ready. Now the OG is shooting at RAW and it still works, right? So it still reads. By the way, if you enjoy talking about camera gear like this, then I'd like to tell you about my new book, Mastering Video Content Creation. It's already available to purchase today from bookshops like Thalia if you're here in Austria, Barnes & Noble, online stores like Amazon, just to name a few. It's a book that we divided into 3 chapters we like to call Consume, Create, and Curate, which I think we all know is what we spend most of our time as creators. Inside, you'll find some of my most used editing tricks, tips on things like how to price your work as a creator, and yeah, you guessed it, I talk a little bit about camera gear as well. So you can find the link in the description box below if you're interested to purchase. And I'd also like to take this opportunity just to thank the people who already have gone ahead and bought their copies and sent me the photos over on Instagram. I really appreciate it. So if you do end up buying one, please don't hesitate. Let me know on Instagram. Send me a photo. I'd love to see it. But for now, let's go back to this video. Now, another card that I use, which I was surprised that worked with the OG, is this Sony Toughcard. Now, if for some reason you can't get your hands on the Kingston canvas, at least you know that the Sony Toughcard also works, right? So just to show you, from no card, it says ready. And then again, just going back to the settings, we can also change from PRORES to RAW. And it will still read. So there you go. All right, so here's a little bit of pros and cons for you. For the Kingston Canvas 64GB SDS2 card, you are going to be able to buy this for much cheaper than the Toughcard. You are also limited to 64GB of storage, which if you're planning to shoot RAW might not be enough, especially if you're doing like long form videos and you're shooting RAW, you might feel limited with this. That said, I don't really shoot RAW on the OG. I've been shooting in PRORES, and for what I do, which is like short videos for Instagram, 10-second, 15-second clips that I piece together, something like that, I didn't really have much of an issue with this one. For the Toughcard, this is going to be a lot more expensive. That is probably the biggest con. It is easier to find, but the upside is that you are going to be able to use 128 gigs, which if you're planning to shoot RAW again, will be a lot better than this one. Anyways, those are the 2 cards that I use for my OG, and I hope this video clears things up for you guys. And again, I just want to say thanks to that person who called that out on the previous video. It is in fact not the 128GB card that works, but the 64GB one. So thank you so much, and I apologize for any confusion I may have caused. So I hope this video clears things up. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.